Week 8 is in the books, and let me tell you, college football this season starting to feel like, does anybody truly want to be number one? I mean, we got the cigars out in Neyland Stadium down in Knoxville, Tennessee. We got Texas, not mighty Texas, getting upset. We saw Quinn Ewers get pulled for a little bit when he was able to go back in. Georgia, are they back? What the hell is going on with Alabama? Somebody please tell me. Only on Overreaction Monday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir. When I tell you I work with the best people in this industry, we have absolutely zero backing. We do this all with, wives, kids, working 9 to 5s, and some are our 9 to 5s, not really 9 to 5s. It's 24/7s because we holding a lot of hands. But I truly work with the best people in this industry. The big companies, ESPN, whoever you're looking for. Yo, you need a guy like D now in your corner. You need a guy like Nino in your corner. You need a guy like Boomer in your corner. You need a guy like Moon in your corner. You need a guy like SC in your corner. You need a guy like Andy in your corner. You need a guy like Brad in your corner. You need a guy like Mike in your corner. I work with the best team in this industry, hands down. I don't tell them that they're not, but they're the best. Welcome to another marvelous episode of Reaction Monday. I am the governor of college football, and with me is a guy that needs no introduction, the mayor of college football, downtown Nino Brown. Also with us today, the people have spoken. They said they love the shows. D Now is on the shows, and he joined us, and it's all three of us. This guy pulls a lot of strings behind the scenes. The one, the only Mr. Dennis Noel. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Not too bad. I feel like if I'm going to be a regular, I got to get some sort of city title. You
Yeah,
know,
you
can't
do,
be the
you
governor,
do.
can't be the mayor.
Yeah.
City councilman,
auditor or something.
no.
Yeah, city councilman. I'll take it.
Yeah, we gonna have to figure that one out. So you gotta have a proper intro. Nino, how you doing, sir?
I love you guys to death, but you got the Bills on. This guy's got the on. I mean, what's going on here? You guys, you throw some little shots at me or something?
Boston does a lot of winning, bro. You know
not right now. We don't know winning,
Yeah.
but everything comes around full circle. But I'm excited to talk football. Two big games we're going to break down. A lot of stuff to discuss. And like I said, I got a big game this week that I really locked in, excited for. Gentlemen, I hope you're watching. It's gonna get your popcorn ready.
I actually wanna know what game you're talking about. But let's get into it. Third Saturday in October, you can smell the aroma of cigars burning in Neyland Stadium as the Vols defeated Bama 24-17. Dylan Sampson, my friend, have yourself a day. 139 yards, 2 tutties on 26 carries. D now, we're coming to you first. What were your biggest takeaways from this game?
So before I actually break down the game, I don't know how much cigar aroma there was going on because a lot of those people don't know how to smoke a cigar.
So it is not a blunt.
Yeah,
it is not.
Yeah,
you guys see the gentleman that really inhaled that joint, like
yeah, he was hurting after that.
That first kid was struggle, but
dude, it was
for 5 minutes trying to light it. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. But to the game, I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed in the game. Big names like this, I wanted a shootout. I wanted to see Milroe versus Nico.
What we got in 2022?
I wanted to see the combined 900 yards of offense, 49-56 kind of football game. When it really turned out to be kind of sloppy. I mean, Milroe was barely over 50%, had multiple turnovers. Nico showed his youth, barely over 50% himself. I think he only had less than 150 yards. I may be wrong on that, but it wasn't a lot. And again, you said Dylan Sampson had himself a day. I think we were talking in the green room. There needs to be more respect put on his name. I think he's a top 5 running back in the country. Easily could be a top 5 running back in the upcoming draft. And then you can definitely tell that they miss Nick Saban's leadership, mentorship, whatever it is. Looking back on that 4th down sneak or 3rd down sneak, whatever it was, and you see the wide receivers doing the fadeaway not even like trying to make a play to block or anything. I mean, Nick Saban would have buried those kids. They wouldn't have seen the field after that. You would have seen him slamming his mic on the ground like he always did. And then watching you and Jalen prior, I went back and looked, and Milroe, sure, he's the guy for the rest of the season. They're not going to bench him. But next season, I can't wait to see Ty Simpson or Austin Mack take control of this offense. I feel, as crazy as it sounds, I feel that they are much better suited for DeBoer's offense, passing-wise. Milroe's so inconsistent. I mean, I've talked to our guy, Prue. I honestly don't see him as a long-term quarterback at the next level. Just my thoughts.
Wow, I really love that perspective. Nino, what were your takeaways from this game? And can Alabama rebound from this loss? They really haven't looked good since the second half of the Georgia game.
We'll get to that second part in a minute. But as far as the quarterback for Alabama next year, he's not on the team yet. That's my take on that. Okay, I have a funny feeling there's a big name coming. Hoping they're gonna throw the bag at him because they need to. But I need to talk to Sampson. That's all I need to say. Dylan Sampson, 100%, excuse me, took over in the second half. In the first half, now I don't know whose fault this is, was it OC or Heupel, but 8 attempts for 34 yards in the first half is despicable. This kid is top 5 in the nation. He's been your workhorse for 6-7 weeks. He should have been your workhorse right off the rip, and he wasn't. But then they figured it out. 18 for 105 and 2 touchdowns in the second half alone. I'm talking about literally taking over. He's gotten it done every single game. Now he has 17 touchdowns. Everybody wants to talk about Gentry and the gaudy numbers he's putting up. 17 touchdowns is gaudy numbers by week 8 in the season. This kid is an absolute beast. Now, I talked about it last week with Moon. You were out watching your beloved Buffalo Bills catch that W, and congratulations to you there.
The referee game?
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about referees in a minute as well. But Nico's just doesn't seem ready. Like, I just don't think he's ready. I don't know. Maybe there was just a lot more hype at first than anything else. But right now, I'm not sure that he's ready to ascend to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of noticeable here. I mean, I was talking to Prue, and he says he couldn't hit a punching bag. Okay? And then proceeded to throw an absolute dime to Chris Brazell for a touchdown. Right after that. Like, literally right after that. But that was his best throw of the game. That and the Thornton throw, I think, on that exact drive to score a touchdown. He's struggling. But he looked better than Milroe. What does that say? Right? That's not good at all. Tennessee's defense. Before I get on to their defense, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Nico on passes 20-plus yards. Those are the problems. His short intermediate game is okay, right? It's the deep ball. And it's the deep ball to the right side. He's like the reverse Tua. He's the opposite of Tua. He has trouble with the opposite side of the field. Like, one side of the field he's good on, the other side is not very good. I'm just not really sure what his deal is right now, and it's very, very confusing. I'm having technical microphone difficulties, so I'm gonna let D now take over. I'm gonna see if I can fix that real quick.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's the veer and shoot offense or what. The more that I look at it, but it might be more suitable if they switch to more of a traditional spread sort of for.
I couldn't agree more, bro.
For Nico's development, more across the middle, more slants, whatever you want to run there, but always throwing it to the sidelines at 18, 19-year-old kid. I mean, that's not really going to be much to help him there. I will say one thing too. It's not really about any sort of players, but it was 7 versus 11. Again, this is just ticky-tack for me. Is it really worth storming the field when you upset a team that's so closely ranked? Like, I mean, sure, 2022 definitely warranted storming the field. But you guys are a lot more closer skill-wise, rank-wise. I mean, come on. They tore down the goalpost for this one. I don't think that was warranted at all.
So you're saying kind of act like you've been. Hey! right, we
Yeah,
back.
much better.
Crystal clear, my dog. Yes.
Sorry, folks, for the but yeah, I get it. Not rushing the field, terrible.
Mm.
But this game is bigger than Alabama Auburn. This rivalry is bigger than that. People don't talk about it. They hate each other. Absolutely hate each other.
They do.
And it's, you got to think about it. Both teams are young. I mean, outside of like Alabama's star, Ryan Williams is a freshman, right? Like Gurmey's only been, it's his second year where he's actually doing something. Last year he was a spot play at Washington. So a lot of these kids are young, and this was a big game for them. And they were talking a lot of smack. Hence the penalties, right? There were penalties back. Law caught a bad penalty as he was jawing back and forth, threw a punch at him. It was ugly, in that respect. But Jesus, can we give some respect to Tennessee's defense? Wow. Absolutely dialed in. 9 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 picks. James Pierce, Will Brooks, they caused havoc the whole game. That McCoy interception, bro, he baited Milroe, and Milroe ate it like a little kid chasing an ice cream truck. Like he was, boom, gone. Like, you can't throw that. Ryan Williams, I said it last week, I'll say it again. If you take Ryan Williams away from the Alabama offense and that wide receiver, what happens? Who's the MVP of that team? Is it Ryan Williams or is it Jalen Milroe? I'm going
it's Ryan Williams. Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
And what does that say for that Alabama team? That kid should be a senior in high school right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
To circle back, James Pierce absolutely needed this game, draft-wise. Am I wrong for thinking that?
I think the last 3 games he's been burning it up. Maybe at the start of the season he didn't have the big numbers like you would expect it to, but he's been cooking the last couple of weeks. I think the last week and this week has put him back to where everybody thought he should be.
Yeah. Okay.
But Alabama, bro, the O-line's terrible. They got issues.
Thank God Caden Proctor left Iowa for the second time.
All right, but he's the best thing they have. He played well.
Which isn't saying much, though.
No, it's not. All right, but he played well but dude, 2 sacks. They averaged 2.5 yards on the ground. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was like wet paper mache. These guys were running right through them. Nobody could clog the hole. Running backs couldn't pick up a block. It was bad. Milroe is, I said 3 weeks ago, all of a sudden Milroe ate the red pill, right? Maybe it was the wrong pill. Maybe he needed to eat the blue pill. I don't know, but he's regressed. Every week, statistically and visually, he's regressed in the last 3 weeks, in my opinion.
Who is Bama's OC now?
Nick Sheridan.
I don't know if him and Milroe seeing eye to eye. But I don't think he knows he has a better option.
Whatever DeBoer has to do, get Grubbs back. I think that's the only way. You
remember that conversation we had a long time ago, bro?
Yeah, what did Grubbs see, bro?
I said it before. I think they worked better together. I thought he was the main mastermind in that offense, and everybody said, "Well, I can't win the ball wins." Yeah, he wins, but he's had a guy with him, and that was this guy.
He took off when Grubbs.
This guy went to the NFL. I'm saying, you went to Alabama, probably the next closest thing to the NFL, but
the 33rd NFL team.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I said that before. I think that the ball was sus. But I don't know if it's all on him. Like, you got to remember, he was coming in behind the 8 ball. A lot of guys left, right? And it was late in that portal. He had to piece it together. Luckily, that Ryan Williams came back and recommitted to Alabama. Oh my God, I can only imagine what they would be like right now. Hey, let's recircle, okay? I said three L's.
You did.
I said 3 L's.
You did. I remember that.
It's vividly. Looking like there's going to be 3 L's. I don't see them being LSU. No way.
I would have to agree with that. So, what type of week do you guys think it will be for Kalen DeBoer? Like, okay, the Vandy loss is like, okay, it was one of those things. But now, you're looking at this loss. Then you start to reevaluate the second half of the Georgia game. Then you're reevaluating that South Carolina game. What type of week is this going to be for DeBoer? Because one thing about fans in Tuscaloosa, not only are they high IQ, they're very high EQ, and they're going to look at you and they're going to tell you about yourself. This is going to be a rough week for him. How do y'all feel about that?
He's going to bring out his best Dominic Hasek routine right here. He's going to deflect. Because look, this is what I'm already telling you what his people tell me in the background. Look where South Carolina is. They've got votes to be in the top 25 this week. They've been playing everybody in the SEC tough, right? Look at Vanderbilt. They're in the top 25, right? They've been playing everybody in SEC top as well, even though we lost.
Right.
So he's gonna play that role. Like, not say it, but he's gonna subliminally talk
That's
that
what you're
talk.
saying.
You know, to say like, yes, we've had tough games and we've had L's, but in those games, those teams, the top tier teams, we'll have to figure it out. He'll sugarcoat it some way. He's going to feel the heat. There'll be a lot of mail, a lot of emails in his office. There'll be a lot of visits this week from people that he hadn't seen since he got the job.
Right.
But if you're the guy and everybody says all he does is win, he figures it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
He figures it out faster than most of them do.
He does.
We'll have to see, because like I said, the 3 losses lasting longer than Nick Saban's last recruiting class. And all that looked like I was talking crazy then, but
not so crazy now.
Crazy now.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's going to have to deflect as much as possible, but then on Saturday, he's going to have to go put up 49-ish points just to calm the brakes a little bit more, I feel like.
I said that.
If he can.
49ers points? You think they can put up
No, I said if he can. But, I mean, he's going to have to put up a big number, I feel like, to get people to kind of pump the brakes a little, be like, okay, there's improvement, there's growth, however you want to spin it. We're still kind of Bama. I mean, especially if Brady Cook's not 100% against
Bro, that boy went got an MRI.
No, dude.
Hospital and came
I'll give
back
him
and played.
standing ovation for how he came back. Absolutely. But
I'm going to tell you
100%.
something right now. Outside of Ryan Williams, there ain't a player on Alabama got as much heart as Brady Cook.
Cortisone does a lot for a body.
Woo.
Let me tell you, 100%.
There ain't nobody on Alabama that's going to get an MRI in the hospital in a cab and coming back. Not maybe Ryan Williams. I'll give him the
They're not winning.
I'm not disputing the heart, but
that was a hell of a comeback.
Cortisone is a hell of a drug.
It is for sure. The game that had top billing this week was a showdown in Austin between the Texas Longhorns and the Georgia Bulldogs. By now, everybody knows I haven't been the biggest believer in Texas. Last year, didn't believe in them. Kind of still didn't believe in them. After the Michigan game, I did get their fan base a much-needed apology, but I had a feeling that UGA will win by double digits. Moon and Jalen are both my witnesses. I said Georgia 31-10. I think the score ended up being 30-15. Nino, start with you. What were your biggest takeaways? Guess what? I'm gonna make believe eat popcorn because I know you're bringing the heat.
I've been on Texas's wagon.
You might have started it. Yeah, you might have started it. Yeah.
But that was probably the worst first quarter football Texas has played all season, probably in the last 3 seasons. 0, 14 total yards, -3 rush yards, 2 turnovers. He was sacked twice. They allowed 39 yards rushing to Georgia and a touchdown. Bro, there wasn't much that could have gone worse for them in the first quarter, and they battled back. Okay, but there was some ugly calls, like that call, the trash call. That's why I call it the trash call. The fan stones, right? Bro, either you make the call and you eat it. Or you don't make the call. I don't even know how they could reverse the call because the call was made on field. They were already getting ready to line up, and then all of a sudden, there was no flag, no foul on the play. Like, bro, if I was Kirby, I would have ripped the soul out of that referee.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand how that even goes about or whatever. But the Longhorns got dog walked on both sides of the trenches. Absolutely worked. Trevor Etienne had 3 touchdowns, and he averaged almost 5 yards per carry. It's probably his best game of the season, right?
Yeah, he's been struggling this year.
Of his tackles came in the secondary, bro. Like, what the heck's going on? 7 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. Walker was everywhere. I mean, they caused 3 fumbles. It didn't matter who the QB was. Arch was shook too in the 2 drives that he was in. Quinn came back in the third quarter. He looked better, right? Especially out of the half, the touchdown. But here's the thing. Sox got to eat this too. You can't leave points on the board. That second possession in the second half, right? They went on a 4th and 3 or whatever it was. It would have been like a 49-yard field goal, maybe a 50-yard. You got to take that. You need all the points you get because, right, the football gods talk to you. You got the turnover the next possession, but you scored a touchdown. Now you're looking at like a 17-point swing in the third quarter. All of a sudden, that favorite word everyone wants to talk about, momentum, it's on a tsunami wave for you guys. but you kept it on a slight simmer, and you couldn't put you couldn't push the dagger in the throat and make the comeback real because you wanted to go for it on 4th and 3 because some analytic dude in the background chirping, to shock. 2 for 15 on 3rd down. That's about as good as the Chicago White Sox winning percentage this season. That is absolutely atrocious. Like, how are you supposed to be number 1 team in the country and you go 2 for 15 on 3rd down? I'm dumbfounded. Kirby went to his local butcher shop, right? He went to the local butcher shop and he said, I need some raw ground meat. And he fed the hounds. Because he let everybody know that wins, they run through that defense, not that offense. Because Carson Beck, oh boy, he was suspect. For sure.
Falling.
Okay.
Free falling.
People keep saying that he somehow is the guy coming out of the fog of this mess and dust. I hate to say it. I'll eat the crow. Somehow, some way. KT's guy is the guy coming out of the dust and Gillen Gabriel. I don't know how. I don't know why or how, but he's the guy that's emerging out of the dust of these quarterback rooms. Cam Ward's the guy. Cam Ward's going to win the Heisman Trophy. I mean, we can just stop because he's single-handedly winning them games because that defense is absolutely disgusting. They lit up 40 every week. This guy's scoring 45, 50 to win games on his. He made that. I know we're getting off track here, but he made that touchdown throw off his back foot with the flick of a wrist with 2 guys in his face, bro. Like, Austin Gentry, you are a grown-ass man. I'm sorry. But if he keeps doing that stuff, it's a travesty that they don't give him the trophy. Absolute travesty. But outside of that, like don't get it twisted. Like I said, Beck didn't have a very good game. They literally let one man in Georgia's offense dominate them. No answer. Couldn't do anything. Anthony Hill, nothing. Nobody. Stacked the box. Dude was like, boop, boop. Okay, I'll get tackled by a safety. Boop, boop. I'll get tackled by a DB. Those guys led the team in tackles. It's gross.
We have breaking news before we get to D-Now's take. Jackson Arnold has been named the starter again at Oklahoma. D-Now.
Can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Hey,
No,
go.
go ahead. Go ahead.
That's
throwing up an L.
I want to hear.
Are you ready? Why?
Yeah.
Because I read something about an hour ago.
He's
This is
transferring.
called Brent Venables. Got no sack. Got no balls. This boy is on the hot seat because Jackson Arnold told him he was going to redshirt if this was the route that they were going to go. He wasn't here to waste his time, but I'll do whatever I need to do for the team, he told him. Right? Bro, they fired Seth. They better open up this playbook and let this man cook because if not, he's gone. Right? That's that right there is the writing on the wall. He's gone, and Brent Venables' job is going to be on the line. He might be fired by week 3 of next season.
The inmates are running the asylum. That's crazy. D-Now, quick thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of saw the writing on the wall as soon as they benched him. I mean, I wrote it all over our shows that welcome to the transfer portal, Jackson Arnold. So, I mean, I'm not surprised if Brent Venables run out of town before halfway through next season. He's one of the best coordinators in college football, but I mean, there's some people who aren't meant to be head coaches, and I hate to say it.
Our resident Boise State fan has entered the building. What's happening, Brian P. Browning? Go ahead, Nino.
When we start talking about, here's the thing. And it's going to revert back to my Patriots a little bit. Gerard Mayo is a defensive guy, right? He was a middle linebacker all of his career. But the Patriots can't stop the run up the middle. They couldn't stop a second stringer and Tank Bigsby up the middle this weekend. Venables is offensive minded guy, right? Defensive guy, but defensive minded guy. But the defense is it hasn't been doing it the last couple of weeks either. So it's like, what's going on now? Literal was supposed to be your offensive guy to replace Levy.
Jeff Levy. Yep.
Oh my God! You want to talk about taking steps back? You fell back. Are you climbing back up the hill now? Like Levy's probably saying, "Go, man, I made the right choice, didn't I? Sure. Get me out of here!" Right? Like, well, it's crazy. Another guy got exposed. Like maybe you need pieces around you to be the dude. Maybe you're just not the dude by yourself in Venables. I'm sure I knew that Arnold was coming. Because
Is that your hot take to Bama? That you were kind of notioning that?
Really?
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured.
I'm going to say something, and I wasn't sure if I was going to say it on screen, but I said I'm going to say it. I was at the Merle game this past week, right? If I don't give a bleep what's a person, it is Zachariah Branch, bro. I am telling you, Zachariah Branch, his family could disagree. He could disagree, but I promise you, Zachariah Branch will not be playing for USC next year. I seen a punt. Listen, I haven't played football in years, but I played returner, and I know he could have got some yards. Kick return. like I'm telling you, yo. Part of it is Lincoln Riley. Like, I don't think it's forcing him the ball, and it seems like this last game, like Deuce Robinson was just getting all of the targets. Buddy is gone. That's my bold take.
It's been Deuce. It's been Lane.
Yeah.
He's had a couple games here and there, but I mean, Woody Mox has stepped in this year for them.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I got a feeling. I mean, Curtis leaving, right? Decommitted. Jared Curtis decommitting. Huge. But I got a feeling that the ball and Alabama are going to be in this Jackson Arnold's race. I mean, maybe not now because he got announced and he's maybe he goes on a hot run. I don't think so. I think that offense is so upside down that it's absolutely insane. But yeah, I kind of agree with Brian. It's what I've been saying for a while here. I don't know about this year, but if they don't hot next year and they go like 2-2 to start the year, he outski.
Yeah, he can.
Take that.
To add on to Brian's though, there was a lot more than Auburn sucking is why Harrison got fired.
It wasn't his fault.
No, I understand it wasn't his fault. He was a scapegoat, but there was a lot more going on than just Auburn not being good.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. 1,000%.
But anyways, back to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The Texas game. So with the whole trash call, like you said, obviously agreed. You can't. It was called on the field one way. How they decided to reverse it is whatever. But I mean, when you got
there's nobody can call. There's nobody calling
in
from outside. That's the thing. So what? All of a sudden, the guy had an epiphany as they're about to line up at the line of scrimmage and be like, "Oh, I might get threatened in my life. I might get stabbed when I walk out of here tonight." Yeah. There was no call. No call.
Yeah,
I really didn't see it.
I mean, for the
could
fans,
see Kirby on fire. He looked like the emoji, that dude from the.
I would have to agree with Kirby saying that the refs tried to steal the game from him 100%. Because I mean, it was going to be even more shut down at that point because Georgia was driving. They got that call. Obviously, it would have extended the drive or whatever. But yeah, I would have to agree. ESPN, however he wants to word it, it felt like they were trying to rob him 100%. But for the fans to act the way they did, I mean, that's just classless by Texas. I mean, you got the Minister of Culture, Matthew McConaughey, even chiming in on this, like, hey, we're Texas. We have to be better than this. Like,
hey, Kirby can say that they tried robbing him. And Shock can say that they tried robbing him because that ain't no PI, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
It wasn't a PI.
No,
PI,
yeah.
bro. If anything, it was
football.
offensive pass interference. If anything. He had jersey the whole time, so it's like
the
football gods, answered the call there, but I don't know how. Zeus threw a lightning bolt down, hit the referee in the ass, I guess, and told him, wake up, because that was about as bad as Scabs, bro. You're better off having scab referees at that point.
Yeah.
You look like you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, but as for Texas rebounding from this, I mean, there's a chance they could lose 2 more games on their season, and it's the last. You got something, KT?
No. You good? Yeah. My camera. Sorry about that.
If not 2, I think they may even lose the last 2 games on their schedule. They got Kentucky.
Did you just see what Florida did to Kentucky with a freshman running back, bro?
But I'm also looking at what Kentucky did to Georgia.
It's been a Jekyll and Hyde act. We've seen them. They were able to shut down Ole Miss offense. They were able to shut down Georgia's offense, but at the same time, South Carolina beat the hell out of them. So I get it from Nino's perspective as well. And then we saw what Florida did to them this week. And that video you saw was hilarious, by the way.
Texas A&M is so hot and cold that I mean you can't lock it in one way or the other.
You can't. I agree.
The Kentucky game's in Tuscaloosa. Like I just don't see that. I mean, it's in Texas. I just don't see that. You know what I mean? Like, I just truly don't see.
You don't think they can out physical them defensively? Like the defensive line could cause havoc.
Vandy's the easiest place to win at.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying. I mean, stranger things have happened this year.
No, I agree. It's just
I didn't like this back-to-back for this grouping of back-to-back games for Texas anyway. So it's interesting. So you think they'll finish with one loss, Nino?
I'm going to lose.
You don't think they lose?
I don't think they lose.
I think they lose one more.
I think they're gonna. Well, Clark, we better run for fucking president. If
he Alabama in the same season
in Alabama, he better
write him in if I have to.
Right? Like everybody put him in a ballot. I think it's just no matter flavor of the weeks I talk about.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt's your favorite of the week. I think Texas is gonna. They're a one-trick pony, bro. They're built on the grit of Diego Payet.
Yeah, that's fine.
These boys aren't gonna sleep. These boys aren't gonna be able to walk without being on their tippy toes all week. They are going to get worked, and they are going to put it working on Vanderbilt. I know the swamp's tough, okay, but I got a funny feeling that you're going to see, this Steve Sarkisian, Nick Saban-esque, like, I'm pissed the fuck off after a loss type thing, and I'm going to light the fire into these kids. Yeah, I know it's all SEC from here on out. I get it. But I think they're going to stop putting out these little ding-dong ditch poo-poo bags on their porch fires out. They're going to put the Vanderbilt fire out. They're going to put this little Florida fire out that's going on. They're going to put the Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino's turned down Arkansas. And that fire, we're going to put that out. We're going to eliminate this whole Kentucky thing that's going on. And it's, and Mike Elko, it was cool. You had a little bit of a run. You can go fall outside the top 20 after, you get smoked at home in College Station. That's my feeling. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. You know what I mean? I think it's Quinn. I think what they're going to do is if Quinn doesn't look, he looks rattled, as Shock wanted to say, in his presser, looked a little uneven, that they'll put Archon. But that plug in, that first time you got plugged in when necessary, that debut there, that didn't look too like, okay, I feel confident putting Archon in the game if, say, we're down 10 late in the fourth against Kentucky or Florida. Would you feel comfortable after that performance, though? But it is Georgia. So that does take a little bit of precedence there as well. I think Texas is going to go on that run. I think this is that loss, the wake-up call. Two big battles, bro. Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma stinks this year. I get it. But that's a battle. That's the
media attention that they get. Absolutely.
That game, the hatred. I mean, Oklahoma could be the worst team in the country, and Texas could be one, or vice versa. And that game would be probably just as much them as a natty. You know what I mean? So that's two big games back to back. Yeah, it was real.
So, I went to two games this week. I went to Huntington, West Virginia for a Thursday night game between Georgia State and Marshall. The game day atmosphere there was unbelievable.
AJ Turner.
Hey, that kid.
Boom.
Hey, man. I also went to Maryland homecoming this week versus USC. I have a few takeaways from that game, but it really got me thinking. What's the best game day atmosphere you all have been to? What was it, like a theme game with a specific matchup? I want to give the viewers who watch us a little bit of insight of what's it like being a credential member of the media. Like, I think I would honestly love to go to like a red bandana game. I haven't been, but Nino's been. Nino can tell me all about it. And I know D-Now's been to Iowa City a few times. So starting with you, Nino, what was the best game day that you've been to?
Actually this year, because the fact that they beat a top 10 Florida State team who now looks like poo-poo
Right,
or whatever.
for sure.
But it's like, I've never been to a game where the fans just rush the stadium, like rush the field. Like,
Right.
New vibe, new culture, new coach. Everything was new. Winning was new. And the students being packed in the section was like everything was new and fresh. And it was just like four wells. What that, you know what I mean? That wasn't the game, but like just that and the vibe in that stadium, like all with like on a night game.
Right.
And then they just come back. They were like the comeback kids for the first 4 or 5 games of the season. And that game was kind of like what started the comebacks, and seeing all those kids rush, seeing like driving in there and seeing like I'm dodging bodies to get into the garage. And I'm like, okay, all right, the vibe is good. And the vibe stood like that the whole game. Kids weren't sitting down, when they can talk, shipping up to Boston and all these songs, and they can stop the music and just let the instrumental go. And these kids, not even just, you could just see the student section singing that song, carrying it, bro. It's chills, like goosebumps. That shit, for me, that does, like, I always want to go to Artson. I obviously want to go to Death Valley because that's just something that, I want to experience. But, Alumni Stadium is an old stadium with a lot of, history to it. People, may say, boss got Doug Flutie, you know what I mean? Luke Kuechly, Matt Ryan, and like, AJ Dillon. We've had guys come in, put up, numbers and go on the NFL and do things. But that vibe in there, Billy O'Brien, it was like when you walked in and you knew it was like, okay, this is something new. And then to cap it off with the kids, running the field, man, it was awesome. Goosebumps. The ride home was crazy.
Wow. Dino, talk to me.
Yeah, so I got a couple. I'm going to start off Homer base wise. Iowa, where probably was the Illinois game last year. Was the best game that I've ever been to since I've been credentialed. It was senior day, so you got to see all the families talk about memories of their kids at the school. It was the last official recruiting day, so all the recruits there. I got to meet College Hall of Famer Robert Gallery, Dallas Clark. So the bucket
Robert
list for
Gallery, like offensive
lineman
Robert Gallery. Wow, Jesus.
So that was bucket list as a true Iowa fan. And then it was just a great game. You got Caleb scored with like 30 seconds left in the game to win. And then on top of that, getting to partake in one of the best traditions in college football, waving at the kids. I mean, it gives you kind of goosebumps. But then stepping away from the Homer aspect, I think going to the Quick Lane Bowl last year was electric because you got Darius Taylor coming back to Detroit. He said he wanted to pop off in front of all his family and friends from Detroit. I mean, he did just that. 35 carries, 200 yards, a touchdown. I got to stand near Megatron and watch him dap up Darius Taylor. So again, as a football fan, those were bucket list moments.
I almost forgot. And once you start talking about electricity, I went to Army Navy last year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, bro.
Yes.
You
That
was
shit.
on the field too, dog.
Yeah, I was on the field. Gronk ran right by me, like no shirt on, jumping into the crowd, bro. That shit, hands down. I've seen Tim. I've seen John Lester throw a no hitter for the Red Sox. I've been to shit like memorable games. That game, it's just like the vibe in there. The type of people that you see. You're seeing, families, celebrity. I felt like I was at a legitimate bowl game. You know what I mean? It was,
and we're gonna do it again this year when they're both undefeated.
Bro, that vibe is.
Have already been accepted.
Insanity. Wow. But yeah, being in Foxborough, with that game going on, the planes flying over, just you see you see schools, and maybe an HBCU school might be different when it comes to the marching bands and stuff. But when it comes to Army, the marching bands on there, I was walking around watching. It's crazy. It's just.
What was it like being in Foxborough for the first time as a credentialed member of the media, being able to walk freely versus a fan? What was that like, bro?
I was kind of lost because where I was near where they were on CBS, right? And
for sure, you were close.
I was right near. Was it Jim Neuheisel, right? I was talking to Jim Neuheisel right before the game had started, and where they were, there was like a restaurant and it's a lane. I kept walking back and forth, talking to people, going back and forth, and I realized that's the tunnels the Patriots come down to every game that they go and play. Here I am chilling, beginning of the game out. It was just nuts. Like you're seeing so many celebrities, and former players there. I sat in the cheap seats, bro. Like
Right.
Pay $100, sit with your back up against the wall. But to be on the field, it was insanity. Like it was crazy. Like being in the end zone, taking pictures, these guys scoring touchdowns, and just knowing that the families, this is the first time they've seen their son, their daughter in a year, probably, or 9 months. It's just wild. They came for a football game. You know what I mean? Insane. But the vibe, yeah, man, if you can go to a game like that, I guarantee you will not be disappointed. You could watch no football. You could not be like an avid football fan. Somebody say, yo, I got some tickets to Army Navy game. You can come check it out.
Right.
I recommend.
You talk about the pageantry, the tradition. Like I feel like that's almost like the Masters of college football.
They
like,
jump out of planes, bro.
Yes.
Parachuters into the stadium. It's insane.
I got chills while you're talking about. I'm so mad I missed that. Go ahead, Dino.
I was and like future credential wise, I mean I'm gonna be at the Yankee Stadium for Notre Dame Army. I can't wait for that too. Just as a Yankees watcher growing up, and then big name game like that, which is surprising that it's a big name game this year. Makes it even that much better.
Bro, I've been to Brown, and people be like, it's Brown. And I'm talking about, I probably sat in a booth, in the media booth that's old as like 1930s. Like you did. Some old heads, some famous people, like probably some scouts that went on to do major things, were probably sitting in that same medium. It's the same way. They never changed. It's so skinny. You're I'm short, and I'm still like in the book. You know what I mean? Like way up there, you're gonna climb straight up all the way through the stands. There's no back escape to get to the media room, through the stands, right up to the top. So yeah, it's wild. Like at Syracuse, the Dome, bro.
Oh yeah,
bro, that place is no joke. Like the vibe in there, like you understand why Syracuse is as big as they are. Like it's almost like a city walking up to the Dome. Like everything around it. You know what I mean? There's graffiti and stuff, but it's like artistic graffiti. It's organized graffiti. Like and stuff they got going on there. It's just. Inside of that place is a whole nother city in itself, man. Like you would think it was like, a professional, you would say like an NFL team is like, dome. It's nuts. And it's a dome. It's just the vibe. I'm cool with the AstroTurf. I don't want to do with that stuff, but bro, sitting there when I went down there on the field talking to
got some pictures down there.
Yeah, I got to interview Dino, Coach
Dino
Babers at the time, but the quarterback. Who was the quarterback at the time? I was doing backflips.
Schrader. Garrett
Schrader, yeah. Talked to him on the field. Took a selfie with him.
He's a cool dude. I talked to him at media days last year.
Like just seeing Allen, you know what I mean, dapping up Allen on the field, like talking to players. Them seeing it, seeing the media credentials. It was friends and family night. People were like, oh, you do thing. I'm like, no, I'm soaking up the moment, but you guys do your thing. It was just, it's cool. And now it's like second nature, but that, what I mean? Like just being
at that moment, that was early. And D now was holding down the fort, getting those credentials. The best, I think, pregame atmosphere I've been in is definitely down at Clemson. I went there for the spring game last year. How knowledgeable their fan base is. How early. I'm talking about early. Me and Mike thought we got there early. The party had already started. DJ out there. I'm speaking with fans, bro. And fans are testing my knowledge base. They're asking about CFB Nation. How do we get into this? So that atmosphere is crazy. As far as like pyrotechnics, Liberty, and then Liberty also got the Don't Stop Believing at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. Lights turn off. You see these Liberty's pyrotechnics are amazing. You see the flames, cannons, fireworks, all of that crap. Let me get my camera together. That's crazy.
You went to the big house. How was the big house?
Nuts. And I was like, I wasn't even on the field.
It wasn't a big game. So it's expectations versus reality for me. So my expectations are through the roof. I'm like, yo, I'm going to the big house. I'm going to the big house. I'm going to the big house. So in order to give them a fair assessment, I have to, and they're towards the bottom of the list. NC State is at the very bottom, but they're towards the bottom of the list just because they beat the crap out of ECU. But like walking onto the field and seeing how big that damn stadium is, that was crazy. That was mind boggling. Lane Stadium. That's number one in my book. Yeah, that atmosphere is crazy. And Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a drug, bro. That's the only way I can describe it is like a drug. CQ Stadium, College Park was cool. This last
was
game,
Annapolis.
it was electric. Annapolis was surprising. I enjoyed it. I almost got trampled when they was running on the field to do push-ups. The security wasn't as tight as I thought it would be. But beautiful stadium, beautiful view. Like Annapolis is just a beautiful city overall. So I truly enjoyed that one.
I remember coach used to tell us that Army Stadium was just crazy because there he is. Look at
there he is. Yeah.
Big game, my man. Big game. But like it's surrounded by water, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like it's. I can't wait to get out to some of these other games. Like,
yeah,
I want to go.
Going to Pitt Thursday. Can't wait for that.
Desmond Reed, baby. Desmond Reed, baby.
Dude, they're playing Syracuse too. You guys know how huge I am on Syracuse. I can't wait to that. D now we asked for the switch for the credentials, so you should be able to go as well. I'm excited, bro. I'm so excited. I truly can't wait. But yeah, I thought that would be a good time for us to talk because a lot of times I think some people are aware exactly what we do, but they don't really get to experience it. Or like I know both of you guys have your credentials probably hanging up somewhere in your room. I keep a lot of them right there. I also give a lot to my mom.
I don't know, 47 of them over there somewhere. I
got a pretty decent stack.
Jesus,
couple Senior Bowl ones, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not the Senior Bowl. I will be at Senior Bowl. I'm
going to try to go this year as well.
I was. Yeah, I'm hoping you're able to go. So, let's talk about the AP poll. Came out. I like to exclusively talk about the AP poll on here. Me and Jalen used to talk about it. I took it off our show because
UNLV got 5 votes.
The UNLV got 5 votes. You heard that, Brian? UNLV got 5 votes. God damn it! So let's run this off. Me and Nino like to break this down in third. So that's what we'll do. We got Vandy at 25, Navy at 24. Army at 23, SMU at 22, Mizzou at 21, Illinois at 20, Pitt at 19, Ole Miss at 18, Boise State at 17. How we feeling about this first grouping? And was there any teams that were robbed in you guys' estimation?
I mean, it's about time Michigan's not ranked.
It's
about 4 weeks too late. I'm gonna start if you don't mind, Nino.
Good.
Every single week I'm gonna sound like a broken record. No love for the service academies. I mean, They both only moved up 1 spot.
That's crazy.
I mean, Army's quarterback had 400 yards himself with 6-7 touchdowns. And I mean, it hurts to say too, as a Navy guy, but the fact that he's not getting enough respect Heisman wise, I think is just BS. But I mean, I would put them probably ahead of SMU. I mean, you'd be kind of splitting hairs if you wanted to put them in front of Missouri, but after that comeback by Missouri, that might be hard. But again, either way, just I feel like they need to get more love. I mean, they're both undefeated.
Appreciate the love, Brian. As far as I would put Army probably behind Missouri. I don't really have a problem with where we're at. I mean, there wasn't really much movement, right? The teams that in that bottom half, I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, Pitt maybe. It's hard because you're looking at like who Kansas State is playing, who Alabama's played, and then you look at Pitt 6-0 and who they've played. So I get that strength of schedule, strength of competition, but maybe they need a little bit more consideration to be moved up a little higher. I know people don't like seeing, ACC teams climbing up the charts there, but yeah, I think they might deserve a little bit more credit. I don't see them. It's not. Oh, it's atrocity that they're at 19, but I think they can get a consideration to be a little bit higher. And I think Army should possibly be above SMU. It's just they're not beating profound teams, and they are a more one-trick pony, which I think weighs more volume because, as a whole unit, they're running. It's not just, one guy. It's like 5 guys running the ball.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they give the ball to. They just run the ball down everybody's throat. So I think this week's a big test for Navy. Notre Dame, right? Or is that next week? They have a week off this week? Is it next week?
No, I believe it's this week.
Yeah, it is this week, 26. So yeah.
That's a great question, boo.
Speaking of one-trick ponies, I noticed that since we got Brian here, Boise State actually dropped 2 spots from last week's to this week's. If they continue to slide, does it hurt Genty's Heisman?
So, nah, I don't think so. I mean, look, it doesn't really matter because look at what his Heisman status now and who they're playing. I mean, they're gonna play the same caliber competition down the road.
They have to continue to win because I always thought the Heisman was team success plus individual success. It's not a neither nor.
I think what saves him too is all the early voters for Heisman.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think now what's gonna hurt him is a lot of the turnaround, right? Like you're starting to get the Dylan Gabriel votes, and it's being one-sided. You're starting to get the Travis Hunter votes, and they're starting to see, okay, we're halfway through the season, and the kid's still playing, 85% playing both ways, still pretty much leading that wide receiver room, which I think is insane. If he continues to go for 100 yards, I would say if he continues to go for 160 plus yards, like if he stays on the Barry Sanders pace, I think he needs to be in that consideration. But if Oregon continues to be a top tier team and they say they go undefeated, and Dylan Gabriel's efficiency is 85%. I mean, he's going to take a lot of those votes away from him. It's going to be interesting.
And there's
I'm just saying.
It's hard.
This next game is pivotal because if they lose this game, I think they're kind of going to fall way down to the bottom.
Especially if they contain him. Let's say he just falls short of 100 yards and they get a loss on top of that. That sting will definitely.
They have an underrated defense. Okay, they have a DN that's very good. Woodward at linebacker is a top linebacker in the country. He doesn't get much talk because he plays out in Vegas, right? I get it. Catalan is freshman-esque Catalan. This kid is leading that secondary. He's leading. He's top 5 in the nation in interceptions. So he's back. So they're cooking. The whole Sluka thing done lit a fire under this team's ass. Like even that loss, I think that loss came at the right moment to check the ego, right? Like it checked them. I think they might have been getting a little bit ahead of themselves with the whole Sluka thing in the win. I think it checked them. And this is a big game. I don't want to go out and say who's going to win or whatever, but I just think that this game is pivotal for both teams. UNLV wins, they're in the top 25, and they probably could coast out and stay in the top 25 for the rest of the season. Boise State wins. You're looking at that G5 contender.
Right.
I'm just waiting for my guy, Shador, to make his final push for my hot take. Like I said, lock up the Big 12, Heisman.
I don't know if that puts him in the Heisman contention, man. He's still so shook in that pocket, dude.
You know what's crazy is that if it can't be both, but if Army or Navy, let's say one of the teams continue their success,
they're gonna play twice.
Yeah, and they will end up having to play twice, and it would be detrimental because you can have possibly a service academy being that top 5 G5 team that makes the playoff, and how dope would that be? I mean, that would be
twice. What do you mean they play twice?
They play for the conference championship.
They will have to play.
Army Navy doesn't count as a.
It doesn't count as a conference game. So
right,
both of them
which I love.
At that point, they both make the championship regardless. They have to play back-to-back weeks, and then that's
or if they split it too.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I know. JMU's my G5, bro. Trust me. They're still in it. They're not out of it yet.
They still got to play Liberty, right?
Yeah.
hanging on by a thread.
Well, they only have one loss. The whole conference isn't. That's the thing.
Though.
It's like,
who they lose to?
Let me see.
Oh, it just happened too.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Georgia Southern. Oh, they lost. Oh, they lost this week. Yeah.
So they got
lost.
2 now.
That's why Moon's on top. They got 2. They're done. Yeah.
Yeah, they're out. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost. They only put up 14 points. My boy Barnett got bottled up. French had a good game, but yeah.
How many losses they got now?
2. They're 5-2.
Who else they lost to?
They lost to whatchamacallit 2 weeks ago. Who was it?
Damn.
UL Monroe. That was the game.
Oh yeah, the running back.
Yeah, that's my Hardy game. Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, let's talk about this next group. Kansas State at 16. I'm still not sure about how I feel about them. Alabama at 15, A&M at 14, Indiana at 13. Are they real deal or not? 12 Notre Dame, 11 BYU. People gonna call me a BYU hater. I just don't get it. I don't see it. 10 Iowa State, 9 Clemson, and we're gonna stop right there. How you guys feeling about this group?
You can't make a comment like that and then fall back. You guys going, what don't you get about BYU?
I own by the experience, bro. Like they dog walk Kansas State.
They also beat SMU.
They beat SMU.
They dog walk Arizona.
And in this last game,
who hasn't though?
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I know.
This last game against Oklahoma State gave me a little bit pause for cause because Oklahoma State should have won the game.
Ollie Gordon was like, "Hey, I still play football."
That's the first game he showed up.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what gave me the cause for pause. So I don't know. Maybe it's me not wanting to see BYU in the college football playoff more than anything else.
See, that was resiliency to me. Like, you won on the final, like pretty much final play of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta love the fact that you have a Jewish kid leading the offense for a Mormon school.
That is crazy.
You know what I mean? And and he got written, bro. They thought Jerry Bohannon was going to be the starting quarterback for BYU. And this kid said, you can hold my clipboard.
What happened to that kid? He had a really good year, barely.
USF. He went to USF too, didn't he? I
yeah,
thought it was at
he
USF where he had the breakout season.
And then Baylor had a good season too, like as far as a high completion percentage.
Didn't he get benched for
Shapen?
Like Shapen,
yeah. I think that's why he ended up leaving. And then like you said, he transferred to was it USF?
I think he went to USF.
This is like his third or fourth school.
Shout out to our guy Reiner Swanson, also BYU tight end. But did you guys see that Iowa State and the BYU game were both last minute scores for 38-35? Like, how crazy is that?
That is correct.
I think BYU should be over Iowa.
You think so?
Well, they are over Iowa, but they're not over Iowa State.
That's what I meant. I think they should be ahead of Iowa State. I think with the way that they've won, you know what I mean? Especially in this last game, that to me, that's a battle-tested team.
It is. They're definitely battle-tested. The
able to adjust.
Game in my mind just still doesn't make sense to me.
I think Indiana should be above Notre Dame.
Yes.
I agree with that.
But I think this Curtis Rourke injury is another reason why they did not put them.
That's a great point. How long is he out for?
Indefinitely.
That was awful words.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably 4 to 6.
He said, "Man, stop hating on BYU."
Yeah, I don't know. I love Moon's comment. When are they going to start watching Clemson games? Like, bro,
I think
Clemson is everything we've talked about.
They comfortable right where they at.
When was it going to happen? Checking boxes. Garrett Riley is getting control of the offense. Klubnik's out there two-stepping, bro. He's so happy right now. All right. Anthony Williams, Agent Zero.
K. Klubnik's stock is going up, bro.
People want to tell me he's goofy and he's trash, bro. He's balling on it. And you go look at the X, bro. They keep saying Klubnik ain't even getting drafted. He's trash. He better stay another year because he's not going. Oh, yeah. I'm like, well, you obviously aren't watching football.
I'm telling you now. If he goes this year, people will be thoroughly surprised at his 40 time. He's gonna blaze that motherfucker. I'm telling you now,
bro. He good. He needed to connect the dots, and it seems he's connected the dots this year.
I think he should stay though.
You think he should stay?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He's balling out. I'm all on that train. I think he should stay.
Here's what I'm going to say about the quarterback department. If Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik continue to play like this, with the cloud of smoke and quarterbacks that we have outside of, I think the only separation really in this group is Cam and Shador. And I think Cam has stepped away from Shador. Bro, go get that money, bro.
See, to answer Jalen's question, who's the QB next year? If they return, it's going to be Nussmeier versus Klubnik all year for who will potentially be the number one draft pick. I think those two have separated themselves because of Wegman's injury history.
Played 4 games.
Exactly.
But
and I think that's going to scare teams off.
Oh, yeah, he is. He is. He definitely is.
I just look, I think there's going to be everybody says, oh, I don't think there's going to be that many quarterbacks going in the first round. If you're watching the NFL this year.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, Miami's probably going for a quarterback in the first round.
Absolutely.
The Raiders are going for a quarterback in the first round. Giants are going for a quarterback in the first round. Like, there's probably going to be maybe 5 or 6 teams if you look at quarterbacks in the first round. Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik, if they continue the way they are playing, bro, someone will be be doing them an injustice.
The Jets might be looking for a quarterback in the first
round. They're going to need a quarterback in the first round. They have no choice.
You don't think they like Jordan Travis?
You would take Jordan Travis over Garrett Nussmeier?
No, I'm just I don't know what he looks like now. Coming off his injury, so I'm not gonna.
That's a good question, but
yeah, the Titans are going for a quarterback.
Bro, Zach Wilson had 4 more victories. Yeah. Zach Wilson had 4 more victories with the New York Jets last season than Aaron Rodgers has this season.
Wow.
They're going for a quarterback in the first round next year, and Aaron Rodgers is cooked, bro.
Wow.
Cooked. That team is gone. Yes, the Titans are going for a quarterback as well. Will Levis is dog meat, bro. I don't know if the Cowboys going for a quarterback. There was mushrooms or something, but that man's out there shooting spider webs. He's gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of QB needy teams. Where we are with the Seahawks is Geno the guy?
No, but I think they may try Howell just to see.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
I don't think they need to go quarterback. I think Howell and Geno for another year or 2 will be all right. Maybe they want the Arch Manning sweepstakes or the DJ Lagway sweepstakes. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, I don't see. The other thing is being the 2 good guys in a group of nothing. You could be Bryce Young. You could fall to the worst team, right?
Or Anthony you could be Richardson. Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. I mean, they're going to fall in the same boat.
Does the coach to Miami? Quarterback?
One of them's going to Miami. The Dolphins are taking a pick.
Too soon?
Dolphins are going to take an O lineman.
Who's the quarterback for them, bro? Skylar Thompson?
No, it's still going to be Tua. They just invested $250 million into him.
He's only playing till he gets guaranteed money. And then he's gone, bro. 146. Thank you.
Guaranteed money still affects your salary cap. They're gonna
so you get the cheap guy that's gonna start week 1 for the next 5 years. I'm proud of you, but Cam Waters and Joe Sanders is playing for the Miami Dolphins.
It's gonna be Will Campbell.
Will Campbell will be a Patriot.
Wow.
Nah, Kelvin Banks will be.
I can't wait for D now to start this draft show. Number 8.
I need to.
With LSU, number 7, Tennessee, number 6, Miami, number 5, Texas, number 4, Ohio State, number 3, Penn State, number 2, Georgia, number 1, Oregon. Talk to me about this grouping.
I think LSU should be ahead of Tennessee. I
agree with that.
Alabama was a suspect team where they were ranked at.
LSU was 1 play away from being undefeated, man.
LSU, I said also week 1 after the losses, they weren't going to lose any more games.
You said that.
Be there
I have to give you credit. I was like, I don't know, not with that schedule, but looking good so far.
You know what it was? Cade Durham, bro. Cade Durham merged. Now they have a fully balanced offense. It's not just putting it all on Nussmeier having to make this dude win every game with every throw. Defense is, bro.
You said that during Debbie Dawson episode.
With weeks, bro. Holy, every defensive coordinator GM that's looking for that, just Energizer Bunny linebacker, bro, the guy that just can't turn it the fuck off. This is that dude. This guy is like, bro, he is. They had this white boy fresh, rocking the cornrows for the boys. You know what I mean? Like he out there with the big chains, but he also can ball with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's embraced this LSU, community, and they love him. And when Perkins went down, he stepped in. He got more starting time after that. And this kid is absolute monster for them. By the end of the year, LSU's gonna be sitting right outside the top 5. Right outside.
Should Georgia be number 1?
No.
Tell me what Oregon did to not be number 1.
That happened. You know where I stand with Oregon.
Hey, Moon. If I'm sorry about your Georgia teams, you better say you're sorry about Purdue, boy, because Purdue, right? Yeah, they didn't show up. They blew their load the week before.
I think the only issue I have with this still is, Penn State. I know they're what they are, but I feel like 3 is just too high for them.
Why should they go down for not?
No, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I wouldn't have a problem if they were ranked 5.
But why should they be ranked 5? Why should they be below a team that has a loss?
Because their loss is okay. So if you want to look at the top 5 right now, Ohio State's loss is to the number 1 team. Texas's loss is now to the number 2 team. What is Penn State's?
They don't have a loss. So because
what is their best win though? But what is their best win?
Illinois,
who is 20, which Illinois actually shit the bed and they should have beat Penn State.
They did.
I don't see how you take a team out of a spot that didn't do anything at all, was neutral for a team that lost. You know what I mean?
Because outside of 56-0 to Kent State, who have they really beat up?
I see what he's saying. Style points do matter in this sport. It does matter.
They beat every Big Ten competition they played this year, right?
They have. That is accurate.
UCLA, who's dog shit. USC, who just choked the game to Maryland.
But when they beat USC, they were ranked. So we can't play to take it when it's good, take it when it's not good. USC was in the top 20 when they beat them.
They were ranked.
Okay, valid.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Illinois' top 20 team. You got 2 top 20 victories.
Right.
I'm just saying, bro. And they're a Big Ten team. So Big Ten SEC schools take precedence over everything else, right? I just said a team that was neutral.
Yeah.
How did they go down to a team that you know what I mean? Like
you know what's interesting, Now I was where you were about 10 days ago. I was like, I don't respect Penn State. I think they can only win one way. That game against USC was impressive to me because I didn't think they were built to come back after being down by 14 or plus points. But, the tight end showed me so much. Drew Aller showed me so much that game. I'm like, hold on. Maybe this team can win more than one way. Maybe they can compete with the Ohio States and Oregons of the conference. So my belief in them is soared. And even though they won in overtime to USC, and beautiful SoCal, it was like I didn't think they had that in their bag, honestly.
They're winning, right? They've been known to win on running and defense.
Yeah,
they're winning on defense, and the kid everybody wrote out that was worse than J.J. McCarthy. The kid was throwing over 70%. The kid only has 4 picks on the year. Nobody wants. See, this is what I hate about this community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, run this kid into the ground when it fits their, demographic or what they're talking about.
For sure.
But the minute that this kid starts balling out and it doesn't fit what they're talking about, this shit goes fucking crickets.
For sure.
When I posted that shit in the group chat last year, he was just as good, if not better than J.J. McCarthy last year. And they said this kid was trash.
With less talent. Yep.
Right? Trash. Now he's doing better than last year with I'm going to go and say with a running back room that hasn't figured out who wants to be the guy.
No.
1 week it's Singleton, the next week it's Allen, and we're kind of back to that. They both seem to have their explosiveness to it, but they can't figure out who the identity in the room is going to be. And it's been him. He's been taking the team on his back. Like, Wallace, who was this Wallace kid? He was nobody, right? Lambert Smith left. They had no wide receivers. All of a sudden, they got a tight end snapping the ball, catching the ball. Like, he's playing everywhere. Like Al is making it work with part of my lack of a metaphor, third world talent, bro, compared to all these other guys in the top 5.
Agree.
He got third world talent. His best guy on his team is a Swiss Army knife utility big guy. That's the best guy he got on his team.
All right.
And they haven't lost. That's my thing. But now, here's my thing. I'm a Texas guy. Motherfuckers, you belong at 6. It's time we start giving Miami respect, because if we're gonna put Cam Ward in this Heisman Trophy run, and he's the guy, they're winning every game, right? Winning every game no matter who they face. But they're undefeated. They got 7 victories. They belong in the top 5. Texas just lost. They lost ugly. We always say, if they lose a close game, it's a good game. It's not a moral victory, but they lost close to a good team. They didn't lose closely to a good team. The score don't matter. With the game we saw, they were trash.
Oh, we know. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Why don't we have Miami at 5? Let's give them their due justice, right? They're winning, and they're doing it in a fashion everybody likes to see. This is the style of football that the college football higher-ups like to see, right? The big gaudy scores, the last-minute victories, the kid who's going to be winning the Heisman, doing the Heisman shit. When are we going to start giving it to him? Because, in the back of the head, they keep thinking about these big chains, these big radios, these riled-up kids. Mario Crispo ain't got the best background either. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, no.
So they're like, maybe we're gonna hold out. We're gonna pull Florida State to these motherfuckers right here. We're gonna hold them back, and maybe they go 13-0. We keep them still out of the top 5.
How long can Oregon hold this number 1 spot? Because it seems that.
Let's see. Let's look at their schedule. Well, they got Illinois.
They got Illinois.
You and Jalen were talking.
Yeah.
They get by Illinois. I think they run it.
They run the table. You think?
Until the conference championship. Yeah.
There's that game, bro. That game always, for the last 5 years, that freaking game. It's an Autzen Stadium, so it's different. But the Huskies, bro.
Yeah.
That shit it's never easy.
No.
It's like
I will
Ohio
be more
State.
confident in Washington if Will Rogers is not the starter, if they play Dexter Williams. I will be more confident in Washington potentially pulling off that upset. I think Will Rogers will get rattled.
I'm gonna say something right now, and Jalen, don't hate on me, bro. Don't. I know you're an Illinois guy. I know you love Illinois.
It's going to be 35 points.
If Jordan Burke plays, don't even turn the TV on. They're gonna cover the spread and then some, because they're gonna make Lukey Ultimeyer beat them, and I don't know that he can. Keaton Fagan, bro, you're a big boy. It's gonna take a couple of you to move that. The way that Mateo's been playing, they got a kid. He's a sophomore who really don't have much experience last year. He got played in spotty time. This kid's playing all over the field, all over the line, bro, and dominating at wherever he's lined up. Like the backup, was it Howard Hammond? Hammond came in last week, filled in, dominated. Hey, if Birch comes back, you're gonna have Hammond and Birch. Like, it's just Hammond played one game in filling. They put him on the Senior Bowl watch list, bro. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's they have it all. Now what? Now, offensive side of the ball, it seems as though Tez and Stewart are existing, and Dylan Gabriel is finding them both at will whenever he wants to. And now the two-headed monster of James and Whittingham is fully healthy and connected. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. In the beginning, they had one running back, one guy to do it because Whittingham was hurt, right? And then you had a D3 guy who came in, right, and a couple of filling guys. There was injuries on that front line that now everybody's healthy. Everybody's clicking. If Birch comes back, they're 100% healthy. Oh, man. Oh, my God. They can make a run, a long run. Michigan ball get blown out by 32. It's going to be real. It's at Michigan in the big house. They're about to get blown up. But any quarterbacks this week, Sharon Moore might be putting up a suit on and being quarterback the following week. Or it might be Dom Grady coming in. You know what I'm saying? They might be taking Dom Grady in to be a quarterback in that game. It's going to be, I think that they have a 75% chance to run the table for the rest of the season, going into the college football playoff, ranked 1 with the bye. I think the bye might fuck them, though.
Think so?
I think the bye might fuck them. I think this is the type of team that every week needs to spin the wheel, needs to make sure that every grease joint is greased. Like, I think that's the way this team is built. I love you, Moon. I think Indiana's your team. I think with homeboy.
If
going
Rourke
down,
was healthy,
yeah.
Mhm.
People don't give Justice Ellison any credit, bro. This dude came from Wake Forest and went to Indiana and is doing his Stuck Dizzle at running back. He just keeps ripping off double-digit touchdowns every week, 80, 90 yards out of whack. Nobody wants to talk about him. It's crazy.
It'll be interesting. Gentlemen, we're only 2 weeks away from the inaugural college football playoff rankings. I can't wait to see it. Hey, man, let them know where they can find you guys at.
At __ Nino Brown __ and anything that says CFB Nation. I try to get my hands in it.
My dog.
So you can find me at DNow06. And again, with Nino, I'm most of the time with Nino, Debbie Darlings. So
this is a fun episode as always. And as I always like to say, there are no more victories in the sport that survive in the fast. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. And until next time, we will overreact after week 9. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, aka downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir.